When the great Dane Morten Andersen retired from the NFL, all he did was score more points than anybody, ever. And this guy's going to be talking to me?
Yep.
All right then, let's go. Who dat, everybody? St. John Butler here, creator of the Life of a Saint series, writer for Canal Street Chronicles, and now we're making videos as well. Today we got to talk to a very special guest, the greatest kicker of all time, in my opinion, Mr. Morten Andersen. Now, I probably asked Morten Andersen more questions than I've ever asked anybody during an interview. That being said, I'm picking my three favorites, just like the threes that Morten used to kick. For our first question with Morten Andersen, we asked him, what was it like transitioning from the very lax Bum Phillips to a much more militant Jim Mora?
That's like eating a cupcake, and then now you got to eat liverwurst. We went from kind of a country club to boot camp. Yeah, absolutely brutal, because the ownership changed too. And John Meekum was fantastic and spent money on the players, and we had really good training camp in Barrel Beach, great food and seafood, and it was very, we worked, but it was relaxed too. It was fun.
Right.
That changed with Jim Mora, It was not fun with Jim Mora because we hadn't had the results. So, and that's no fault of his, I'm not blaming Jim Mora. There had to be a culture change because we weren't winning, and Jim Mora was put in place with Jim Finks to win by Tom Benson, the new owner.
Right.
So, it was on Jim to change the culture and make it his. And he did, for better or worse. I thought he worked us too hard during the season, so when we got to the playoffs, we were tired.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I've heard that before.
He may disagree with me. I don't know. He may disagree with me, but I like Jim. Jim and I got along great. I performed well. I had great years with him. We won a ton of games together, And I think the Saints won more games over a 5-year stretch than anybody in the NFL. We just didn't win the playoffs.
Right.
And that's what was the shame of it, because we were really good. We had 4 great linebackers in Sam Mills, Pat Swilling, Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson. They called them the Dome Patrol. And they were badasses. They were great. They were fantastic. And Bobby Abia was our quarterback for a long time. We had running. We were very good on defense. We ball controlled. We possessed the ball on offense. Didn't turn the ball over. We kicked a lot of field goals. We had a very good kicking game, very good return game, and we won more games, I think, in a 5-year stretch. Like I said, in the late '80s. After Jim got there, and so you can't knock the way he did it. He did it the way he felt was the best to move the team forward, and he moved the team forward. I mean, he did.
For sure.
So,
yeah, you guys were doing things.
And I was glad to be part of it, because they used me as a weapon. I mean, I was used a lot,
Yeah, for sure.
I was showcased in many ways, And it was unusual for a kicker to have that much action, but they trusted me, for the long balls and the big kicks. And that was my heyday for sure. That run.
Yeah. And honestly, that might be my favorite answer to any question I've ever gotten during an interview. Now, after a really long and prestigious career with the Saints, Falcons, Giants, Chiefs, and Vikings, Morten Andersen had a decision to make. He was really close to that scoring record. He wasn't getting any phone calls, but he takes us into the psyche that he had during that 20-month stretch before Atlanta called again and brought him back to the NFL.
There's defining moments in your life, John. The defining moments, and how do you handle them? And when you're young, that's God's cruel joke on us. When we're young and we get them, we don't have the perspective and wisdom to know what the hell to do with them. We just blaze right through them, and we may even miss them.
Right.
We may be standing at the train station, and the train goes right by us, and we don't get on. So that's the cruel joke of being young and immature and impulsive. with age comes levity and wisdom, and I think the 20 months for me, and I didn't know at the time it was going to be 20 months. I thought it was going to be a few months and I would have a job, but the phone didn't ring for 20 months, So that's when, that's when your character and your will is tested, really, because, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm 45 years old. That's ancient. That's basically guys have been retired for a while in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But, I'm 77 points away from the NFL scoring record. And there were incentives, there were carrots out there. There were things to go get, There were reasons why I should continue. The most important is finishing on my terms, Most guys don't get to do it on their terms. Mm-hmm. So those were kind of the motivator for me was, again, to prove to everyone I wasn't finished. I wasn't too old to play at the highest level. And that and the legacy had to be that I wanted to be the leading scorer in the history of the game. That was important to me. Mm-hmm. That was a motivator. And so for those 20 months in that public park, although it was humiliating at times to have to defer that field to little leaguers and their parents looking at me crazy when I was wearing my uniform, Pro Bowl jersey and Falcons helmet and New York Football Giants pants, and because I played, Kenny Stabler shoulder pads, because I played in full gear. That's how I practiced. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they look and go, what's this nutbag doing? What is this crazy guy doing? Well, I was working towards something that was lifelong. To finish on my terms, and also to become like the leading scorer in the history of the game. Kind of a big deal to me, Right. So just kept going, and I know people thought I was absolutely bonkers, and my wife stuck with me, my kids stuck with me, family stuck with me, but there were friends that absolutely thought I was a lunatic, and that it was over, imagine almost 2 years and the phone doesn't ring, and you go through a full season, and you're ready, and the phone doesn't ring, and nothing happens. And then you actually go into the second season, and now you haven't played since 2004, and you're now in 2006, and then 3 games in, the phone finally does ring, and you're ready. But what if you had not been grinding 20 months in a public park? Then that train leaves the station, and you're on the platform, right? Yeah. So that's the lesson. That's the takeaway for me, anyway, is that whatever is worth chasing, you chase it 100% until it's absolutely exhausted and empty. And, had it been another 20 months, I probably wouldn't have done it, But I would have seen 2006 through, and I probably would have tried it again in 2007. And then if I hadn't gotten a sniff there, then, it was over. But that didn't happen. 2006 came, and I won the job. I beat everybody that they put in front of me. I beat them.
Some really inspirational and motivational stuff from Morten Andersen. It's crazy to think that he went that long, a lot of adversity, a lot of naysayers, a lot of eating humble pie, and ultimately got to the goal he was set out to achieve ever since he started in the NFL. If you're enjoying the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Throw a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what's your favorite all-time Morten Andersen moment. Now, aside from talking to you about the interviews that I've been doing, I also want to shout out some Saints channels that are doing it right. And this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about After Further Review. Matt Moscona, he's doing a great job giving you the day-to-day Saints news. Go check him out. I'm going to leave his link in the description. So this way you guys can, if you're not already following, you can go ahead and follow along. So throughout the interview, we talked to Morten about his career, about his goals and achievements and everything. We weren't going to let him off the hook without talking about his rock career. Check this out.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna take it to the top. We're gonna go there and be all the things that we want to be. There's nothing to it. We'll sail right through it to the top. We're gonna make it after all.
tell me.
I mean, it's just like if there's
It's iconic. I mean, it's legendary. I don't know what to say about it other than, you know, it was a project that absolutely never should have come to fruition. No, listen, it's part of the fun. You know, it's part of what you do as a young guy, and I've always wanted to be a rock star. Okay, and I just didn't have the pipes or the musical. I couldn't play an instrument, and I couldn't sing. Other than that, I think I would do great on stage. So I would be a hell of a lip syncer, you know.
I was just I
could air guitar. I could air guitar and lip sync with the best of them, you know. I mean, Milli Vanilli would be proud of me, you know.
And he certainly did take it to the top. One of my all-time favorite Saints, Morten Andersen, had an absolute blast doing this one. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. Who Dat, everybody. See ya.